Bad movie drinking game. 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 Bad movie drinking game.
Edward, I need your help. I have a daughter. She has been missing for 2 weeks now. I fear she is endangered. So now I turn to you. Welcome. My little girl is still here.
If she's here, I'll find her. Rowan? Rowan? You know her?
If she existed, we would know of her.
Whose desk is this,
Hey, welcome to another Bad Movie Drinking Game episode. What are we watching tonight, guys?
The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man?
The Wicker Man.
Yeah. The Wicker Man. Starring Mr. Nicolas Cage. Really the mayor of Bad Movie City, I would say. At least on the city council. Let's give it a...
He's a citizen for sure.
He's a pillar of the bad movie community.
He steps in every once in a while, but then he got stuck there.
It's a very dark city. Let's be clear about that.
Guys, this is a fantastic bad film, but a lot of people only know it from the clip online.
Yeah, like as soon as it hit DVD, everyone was talking about how he just punches women and runs around in a bear costume doing this.
If you need any sort of motivation to watch, to like, what is this? Why should I watch this? It looks kind of boring. It is, but that's part of the magic. So go online and type in, was it Wicker Man Best Moments, and watch a little clip, and you'll be like, okay, I need to see that. But don't stop there. Don't stop there, because we saw it in the theater when it first came out.
I think they don't need to look at that clip.
Okay, don't watch that clip.
Because you got to earn it. It's not boring. I mean, it is boring. It is a weird boring, and then it goes off the rails at the end, and you have to earn it.
There's an element of it that it's like a slow boil. It's like Nicolas Cage slowly going insane.
It's a train in a sense, where you can't really go off the rails if you haven't built up the momentum to get there in the first place.
Exactly.
And I do appreciate the fact that we get full Cage. We don't get the partial Cage. We get full-on, bug-eyed, insane Cage, but you do have to wait a good hour and 15.
Yeah,
But I am glad we're watching this. It's oncoming fall, change of the season. It's harvest time.
Yes.
So.
And what better than to celebrate it with the witchiness of the Wicker Man. What are the rules this time, guys?
Oh boy. Who's gonna start?
The first rule of tonight's drinking game is this. Anytime Nicolas Cage is startled.
What? God damn it!
Which will happen a lot. You guys are gonna knock one back for me.
All right. My rule, anytime Nicolas Cage says he's a cop or flashes his badge to anybody.
I'm a policeman. See my badge? I need to ask a couple of questions. I'm a cop.
And what does that mean?
Gulp.
The next rule is anytime there is bee imagery or references to bees. And that includes the production of honey, cause it's a big deal.
It's a big deal in this world.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next rule is whenever Nick Cage asks a question.
You know anything about a place called Summer's Isle? Do you know her? Can you swing it? What in the hell happened to you? Now, why in the hell would you let them do a sick thing like that? How'd it get burned?
And that's gonna happen a lot.
I think we should specify only Nick Cage, because if we included everybody, that'd be a lot. But
We'd all die.
80% of his dialogue is asking questions, so get ready, guys. This is going to be a fun one.
Dial it back as much as you can.
Right. The entire film, a marked difference from the original Wicker Man, which is really not a lot of differences other than tone and stylistic choices, but
it's this particular tone.
It's this particular tone is that the movie seems to just mistrust and hate women. The island itself is a female-dominated society, and Nicolas Cage is not too happy about that. So anytime the movie is, or Nicolas Cage himself just seems to be really, really misogynistic towards women, take a drink.
The plot thickens. Didn't even know you had a plot.
No kidding.
Get yourself a nice harvest ale, not a winter ale, an autumnal brew.
Something pumpkin flavored.
Something pumpkin flavored.
Plenty of it.
Something spicy. Something. Oh, even get mead. Mead will work because this is a honey-based movie. Snuggle up to your honey. Yeah, that's right. They filmed it on honey-based film and not silver nitrate, so it doesn't explode.
Yeah, but of course, you know, if you're not drinking.
Oh, if you're not drinking,
Oh boy.
like our friend Marcus here, there's another thing you could be doing, and that is every time you could take a drink, you would instead maybe take a bite of a delicious 1990s classic, the Teddy Graham.
We need to get paid by Nabisco for this sort of thing.
Seriously, it's a bear with honey on it.
Alright.
Just make sure you eat them feet first.
You gotta break the legs off of them first and then eat them.
My legs!
Just think, every time you eat one, just think that there's a little man inside yelling "you bitches" at you as you swallow him.
Very gender confusing, but okay.
This is a fantastic movie. You're gonna love it. If you like bad movies, you're gonna love The Wicker Man. We'll be back after the break, a little bit more hammered with a little bit more fun with this movie.
Ghost Rider was born.
Go to the house and lock the door, and I'll come back for myself.
I got enraptured in what
How to get burned!
I got enraptured in what it looked like, and I'm fucking drunk.
No, stop all that! What is it? What is it?
2 questions.
What is that? What is that? What is it?
I've lost track. I'm just gonna kill this.
Not the beast! Ah! Oh god. Oh my god.
This isn't really set up at all, so I don't understand why I should be afraid.
His legs aren't
True. Man, I'd be chewing through some rope.
As soon as he chews through the scenery.
Won't argue.
It starts off, yeah, he's weird, and then it, God damn it, does he ask a lot of questions?
Oh
So-
boy, that's...
Never before has anyone's inquisitive nature brought about so much hate from us.
Yeah, I felt like for a moment, I felt like what it was like to be a parent, and when you have a kid, it's like, why is the sky blue?
Why?
Why?
That is the essence of this movie.
When it starts out, it feels like a very poorly written stage play to a certain degree, and then it starts to feel more like a movie in terms of dialogue, but still, that's when your main characters are starting to be introduced, and that's when everybody just goes off the rails in terms of manners. Like, there's no sense of human interaction that's in any way normal.
This whole movie just has the worst take on gender relations ever.
Yeah. It makes me want to be a better man.
So does that mean just being not Nick Cage?
Pretty much. Just don't wear elbow patches. Start out with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I didn't
Very
say anything about it.
Professorial?
Yeah, he's supposed to, and the other thing is, he's very much in a detective role in this film. Like, his whole thing is,
not being a goddamn detective.
That's the point.
He's a motorcycle cop, like a 40-year-old motorcycle cop.
He's a chip.
They went out of their way to give us that backstory.
He's a
to
chip.
show.
He legitimately
He's
is.
in California Highway Patrol.
And yet, you put him in the role of investigator, and he's not a fucking investigator.
I would like to question.
It's if the protagonist movie was Paunch the whole time.
I was about to say,
about that for a second.
do you think this movie would have been better had Eric Estrada been in the main role?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
And no.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
All I can think of is this cameo from Van Wilder, like, "Hey, has anybody seen Rowan?" It's a Justice wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good in that.
He was good in that.
Yeah. No one was good in that movie.
Or if he was Marco from C-Lab, that would have been even better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One question I do have is they do establish that they don't know who caused the wreck. So are we to believe that Lily Sobieski or someone in her crew caused the wreck?
I feel like the wreck is ultimately irrelevant.
Okay.
It's just something that haunts him that is a coincidence. Like, almost if the wreck didn't happen and he came to this island, maybe it wouldn't have gone as disastrously if he didn't have that wreck to contend with.
There's a lot of weird extraneous stuff like that, because there's a shot of him in that cafe at the beginning and he's buying a self-help tape. And then later on... Yeah, everything's okay. And then when he shows up to the island and he comes back, he's like, someone threw my bag. Have you seen my tape? It's called Everything's Gonna Be Okay. And then they're like, no. But he allegedly brought that with him. And then it's never addressed again. So I guess...
It's because everything wasn't okay.
Oh.
See,
they had to take away
subtle.
the hope.
It's two shadowing.
It's two shadowing.
It might even be one shadowing.
Okay. I see what you're going there.
No shadowing?
No, the original one's really fascinating because the original one, a couple differences in
atmosphere,
one
skill,
sure,
their efficiency.
Efficiency is number one. I would talk about. There's absolutely no prologue to the original version. The original version, the cop shows up. The opening scene is just him flying in on that pontoon boat. There's not a sequence where we find or he reads
really
a letter.
All you need.
There's no point to learn anything else, right?
And everything that we learned prior to Edward Mela showing up on the island doesn't factor into what happens at all in this movie.
Except that we use flashbacks to fill time.
Yeah.
And he's got to have flashbacks to his traumatic policing.
So that way he can see that girl get hit by a bus on a boat.
Several times, yes.
I do like the fact that his flashbacks to his fantasies are in black and white.
It's because apparently he has some form of color blindness that we don't know about.
He also sees that same scene in so many... It keeps increasingly becoming his personal nightmare of being on that island. Because they keep adding bees in, and it becomes Rowan at some point.
They just vanish at one point.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't... I don't think that lines up thematically at all. Like, he tries to save a girl, and then it doesn't work out. And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, he tries to save another girl, and it doesn't work out. But whatever.
It's not that this particular version of the movie is way off base in terms of like the text of it.
It's tone.
Yeah.
I've heard that like I read something on the IMDb trivia that apparently 80% of the dialogue is the same as the first, but sometimes it's recontextualized a little bit.
Well, that's what Neil LaBute does, cause Death at a Funeral is the same way.
Because we needed a remake so we could understand all that British. I can't get a grasp on that guy.
Well, the way I see it is that he's trying to make the same points he made with In the Company of Men. It's just that one of them has a very detailed and focused argument, and he has his villains and heroes very specifically portrayed in one movie.
In the Company of Men is so much like a critique against like corporate culture.
Well, it has a lot of that too, but I mean, it also plays a lot with gender roles and stuff, and really criticizes the way men interact with the opposite sex and the way they treat the opposite sex to other men.
Yeah. I mean,
and this movie feels like that is where it's drawing from. I mean, I feel like that is an element that is only in the movie because Neil LaBute remade the movie. I don't think it was an element that was insisted upon. It was something
it was never there.
It was something it was something that struck a chord with him, and he just sort of went to town with it, but he got lost. He got lost big time on the way to his finale, and it just spiraled out.
I don't know. I sort of love the reveal of In the Company of Men because in that one, spoiler alert if you've never seen it.
It won't be featured on this show, so
yeah, it's a great film. But no, the reveal, it's like, essentially the two guys make a bargain to just ruin a woman. And they decide to do that, and then like the one guy falls in love with her and he feels bad about it, and then he admits the plot to her, and then yada yada yada, and then it literally all boils down to just a dude trying to get a guy demoted at work so he could take his job. It's like this like macho sales culture bullshit that like is what it all ends up being, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty dark. And I remember really, really digging that aspect of it.
Let's say In the Company of Men splashes in the pool of misogyny, whereas Wicker Man drowns in it.
Yeah.
So,
That about sums it up.
This is a fantastic film, so much so that in an alternate universe, somewhere, in the infinite number of alternate universe, it had to have won an Oscar somewhere, guys. What fictional Oscar would have to exist, or alternate Oscar, would have to exist for this film to win an Academy Award? Franklin?
I would say it would win the Oscar for Best Representation of the Second Amendment.
Oh, go on.
It is the best representation of the right to bear arms. Nicolas Cage gets a lot of usage out of those big strapping bear arms of his.
You get it? Bear arms.
You don't have to explain it.
Okay. I think I'm going to piggyback off of that one and say that the award for best barefooted sidekick goes to Nicolas Cage in The Wicker Man, because he
barefooted. He doesn't wear anything over his feet.
Oh, he does, but it's a part of the bear costume. And he places at least like 2 to 3 well-placed sidekicks in some of his attackers well before they're actually able to pin him down, and it's good for him. I'll give him that. He dies barefooted.
If you don't get it yet, he's wearing a bear costume's bare feet.
You don't have to explain it.
I think I do.
No. They will see.
I would have to say that this goes for best use of the word bitch in a film.
You bitches!
But just barely. Because Anchorman would win it.
Oh, I should have known.
No, I did it.
You bitch! Oh, you woke the bears. Why did you do that?
No.
The bear pit.
The bear pit. I get it.
I'm heading home. You started it.
No, because I'm really annoyed by the use of the word bitch, like as a suffix or like an epigram.
Suffix?
I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. What's not a prologue, but an epilogue. It's become like an epilogue of a sentence. Like, I just got all up in your face, bitch, or I just skateboarded you to death.
It's fitting.
Bitch.
It's fitting that he's complaining about this and he's wearing the Kenny Powers shirt.
I'm like a bulletproof tiger, bitch.
That is a very obvious complaint that is usually lobbied at Danny McBride.
Sure, whatever.
So you're just rolling.
I'm
with
just
it.
representing Myrtle Beach.
You're just a big walking contradiction.
Myrtle.
You're
Beach. Whatever.
Everything you do barely makes sense.
Puns. I get it.
I don't think you do.
No, my point being is that bitch is so often used as like a bam. You're like, I just did that, bitch. And this one, it's like he gets back to the heart of the meaning of it. Is you bitches. It's such a startling moment, and it strikes a chord and gets back to the real meaning of the word.
Female dog.
Sam, your Academy Award.
All right, mine would have to go to most gratingly weepy-eyed performance, and that would be from the what's her name, Willow Woodward. Like, every single scene, I swear it looks like they just blew silica dust in her eyes. It's just her all pouty, and every scene for the entire movie until the very, very end of the Franco ending, which you may or may not have seen, depending on which version you watch. But it's like, are we supposed to be sympathetic? Because clearly she's not sad about the things she's doing.
This is a story whose chapters were carefully written.
This is probably the third or fourth time I've seen this. It's still fun, right?
It reminds me of the yodeler game from The Price is Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't exceed your limit, and you don't know what the fall-off point is. And so it just keeps going up and 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 up, and at some point he's going to fall over. You don't know where the tipping point is. And that is why you have to watch the entire movie. Because if you only watch that 2-minute clip, you're watching the part where it's like, is he going to fall or not? Fall or not? That's so much less elegant.
It's literally just watching like a compilation of money shots, and it's not cool to do that.
You have to build up to it.
80% of the dialogue of this movie is Nicolas Cage asking questions, so have at it. It's fun.
But know that you'll be hitting the bathroom like a beast.
It's perfect. Like, this is a great movie to get together and watch Nicolas Cage just F shit up, and it's perfect.
And it really is his own shit show when it comes right down to it.
Yeah, I mean, he produced it. This is his baby.
Also, nobody else had enough scenes to really take the brunt of this.
Yes, there's that, and there's also the fact that there's no one that I could think of that could possibly run this thing off the rails like he did.
He's the conductor of off the rails conducting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think it's time for our final thoughts, statements on the film. Franklin, what do you got? What do you got left in the tank?
How to get burned.
Okay, yeah, I can't believe we didn't talk about that. That is like one of the epic moments of this. Is how the phrase "How did it get burned" became one word of "How to get burned."
How to get burned.
How to get burned. How to get burned. How to get burned.
Exactly.
Marcus.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, final thought.
Bears.
Yeah, Country Bears. It's a good film.
Someday
we'll watch that one. Sam?
Everything's gonna be alright.
I said final thoughts, not puns, guys. Everything is just constant puns.
They stole his tape, man.
I mean, come on.
They did. They never did answer the question of the "It's Gonna Be Okay" tape, where that went to. I don't know. I just have to say, thanks for joining me on this, guys. This is a fantastic entry. Go home and watch it. If you made it this far and you're like, I don't know, should I watch this? Yes. Watch this movie. Watch his hairline recede. Watch him go crazy and turn the knob up to 11 and just break the damn thing off. You won't regret it. Once again, from Bad Movie Drinking Game, I'm Curt.
Franklin.
Marcus.
Sam.
It's been fun. We'll see you next time.
Be safe.
And on that tree there was a limb, and on that limb there was a branch, and on that branch there was a nest, and in that nest there was an egg, and in that egg there was a bird, and from that bird a feather came, and on that feather was a bird.
Please go to your stores and wherever they are, and pick up a copy of The Wicker Man.
Also, please drink responsibly because this nearly killed us.
No, seriously.
It really did.
Yeah, it really. I mean,
Oh.
Everybody look at Franklin with disdain.
Franklin.
Wow, 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 wow.